cashew. Cet événement se tiendra sur Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Facebook et YouTube Live. Les orateurs sont l'honorable Owusu Akoto-Efriye, ministre de l'Alimentation et de l'Agriculture du Ghana, l'honorable Anoura Kabore, ministre du Commerce, de l'Industrie et de l'Artisanat Burkina Faso, Florentino Nanke, président de l'Alliance pour les cashews africaines. Oratrice principale, Madame Achuko Toda, directrice du financement agricole et du développement rural, groupe de la Banque africaine de développement. Des autres experts du secteur de la noix de cajou interviendront au cours de ces 3 jours. ACA construit une industrie africaine durable de la noix de cajou.
The African Cashew Alliance ACA presents the 14th ACA Annual Cashew Conference 2020, a 3-day virtual conference. Theme: Building a Viable Cashew Chain to Withstand Market Disruptions. Date: 9th to 11th September 2020. Time: 9 a.m. each day. Venue: Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Facebook, and YouTube Live. Speakers: Honorable Owusu Akoto-Efriye, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Ghana; Anoura Kabore, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Handicrafts, Burkina Faso; Florentino Nanke, African Cashew Alliance. Keynote speaker.
Printer. I've not checked this man.
Du financement agricole et du développement rural, groupe africain de développement. Des autres experts du secteur de la noix de construit une industrie africaine durable de la noix de cajou.
The African Cashew Alliance ACA presents the 14th ACA Annual Cashew Conference 2020, a 3-day conference. Theme: Building a Viable Cashew Chain to Withstand Market Disruptions. Date: 9th to 11th September 2020. Time: 9 a.m. each day. Venue:
de la Banque africaine de développement. Des autres experts du secteur de la noix de cajou interviendront au cours de ces 3 jours. ACA construit une industrie africaine durable de la noix de cajou.
we have them, what we call them, their progress within something.
the near future and the way forward, they should be able to organize this and take this one as a model to guide them in future organization of the conferences. Having said that, I wish ACA the best in their next conference that they are going to organize. I don't know which one, where they are going to organize it, but I wish them that they will use the same approach for subsequent conference organizations. Have varied from the previous ones. So I think in the near future and the way forward, they should be able to organize this and take model to guide them in future organization of the conferences. Having said that, I wish ACA the best in their conference that they are going to organize. I don't know which one, where they are going to organize it, but I wish them.
Sous-produits et la valorisation des déchets dans l'industrie de l'anacarde, ce qui est encore pas tout à fait maîtrisé. Voilà.
My name is Seto Sakuto, the Minister of Food Agriculture, Ghana. Having participated in this conference for the last 5 years, and I think one of the best, well-organized conference of ACA that
we want to talk to your guy because we want to. That this will stop our parents. Okay. Yeah, we are about to now have been put on there. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, so they've migrated me to the panelist platform.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third and final day of the 14th Annual Cashew Conference of the African Cashew Alliance. The conference started on Wednesday, continued yesterday, and comes to an end today. We trust you have had productive sessions this far. This conference has been fully online-based via Zoom, accessible on Microsoft Teams, with live transmission on Facebook and YouTube. The theme for the conference has been building a viable cashew value chain to withstand market disruption. My name is Linda, and I am your MC for the day. The conference is being held in 2 languages, French and English. You are kindly requested to join the preferred language through the interpretation. Hover your cursor on the screen and the feature will appear. If you can still hear 2 languages playing, kindly unmute the original language. Just before we get started with the day's agenda, kindly note that there are other 2 important features on Zoom. Q&A for your questions and requests for clarifications. These questions will be brought up during the presentation, and we'll also have time for questions at the end. The chat box is for networking, please. Please do the section of the cashew value chain where you belong, and your interests in the chat box. The two session, which we had yesterday, had a panel discussion on processing technologies and its incubation. The panel discussion was moderated by Shakti Pal from Karanat, with a panel made up of industry players with very vast experience. We had Salma Sitaro from Inkaju, Balakrishnan Virmela from Huxley Industry, Jim Fitzpatrick, who is an industry expert, and Alex True, XG Agro. Would like to say a very big thank you to all our sponsors and partners. We also acknowledge the media from Africa and beyond. This conference is also being streamed live on Facebook, Microsoft Teams, YouTube. The links are being dropped in the chat now. MS Teams is also available in 2 languages, French and we thank you all for being with us through the conference and for joining us on the final day of the 14th annual Cashew of ACA. For the 3rd and final day, we will have a panel discussion and a closing ceremony to the curtain on the conference. Without much ado, we will proceed to the session for the day, which will focus on research efforts to obtain marketable raw nuts and kernels. To moderate this session is Mr. Seth Osei Akoto. Osei Akoto is a crops production expert, farming system expert, adult extension trainer, and founder of community development programs. He is also an agricultural expert. He's co-authored Cashew Report, a value chain analysis of the cashew subsector in Ghana, which was published in 2010, and Poverty Impact at PIA case study in Ghana in 2010. He has worked as a trainer, key player in research extension activity, and a facilitator of agricultural programs and project crop services, Directorate of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, let's receive Mr. Osei Akoto. Mr. Osei Akoto will soon be with to get him connected to the conference. Would like to use this opportunity to acknowledge sponsors and partners. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture of Ghana has been very supportive. We have Intersnack as well. GIZ Cashew has also been supportive. TechnoServe, Benin Cashew, USDA Lift Cashew, USDA Pro Cashew, SECO, NAT2, ITC She Trades, Cashew Info, ACPG, CNFA, Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana, and our media partners in Africa and beyond. Other media houses who have been with us through this conference have been BNFT, GBC, Ghanaian Times, Daily Guide, and many others. Whilst we still wait for Mr. Osei Akoto to join us and for the panel discussion to start, we would also like to remind us all of the side events which will be starting on Wednesday, the 16th of September at 9 a.m. GMT. We would like to let you know that all the presentations that have taken place in this conference are available on the ACA website and on the ACA app. The app is on Google Play Store as ACA Cashew app. Mr. Osei Akoto, do we have you now? Mr. Say Akoto, do we have you now, please? Mr. Say Akoto, do we have you now? Kindly be reminded of the side events which would be having starting on the 16th of September at 9 a.m. GMT, 12 p.m. East African time. Mr. Sayakoto. Great, we have Mr. Sayakoto join us now, and he will introduce his panel. We are still trying to get Mr. Sayakoto to join us, and so we will still again acknowledge our sponsors. We've been partnered by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture in Ghana, and we've been sponsored by Intersnack GIZ, Cashew, TechnoServe, Benin Cashew, USDA Lift Cashew, USDA Pro Cashew, Set Nuts 2, ICC Food Trades, Cashew Info, ACPG, CNFA,
cashew nuts and cannas fetch a producer good price. For instance, it has been reported recently that even at the peak of thing, big nuts with 120 nut count were dried, traded in some international markets around $100 per ton. Cashew nuts of these sizes will give a good yield in cashew kernel. On the other hand, small cashew nut size, apart from unstable prices, affect manual and mechanical processing. It is my cherished hope that by the end of this session, you have generated a lot of interest in obtaining marketable nuts and kernels. This important topic are what? A very young scientist from Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana, a promising by name Dr. Paul K.K. Adujamfi. The second speaker is Professor A.L. Masawi, an cashew value chain expert and an adjunct professor at Nelson Mandela African Institution of Science and Technology. Gentlemen, these are our speakers for this session. The session is going to be for 50 minutes, and each panel or speaker is allotted 25 minutes. And following that, questions and answer session will be run for 30 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our two speakers or panelists. And I'm privileged to introduce Dr. Paul K.K. Adujamfi to give his presentation. Thank you very much.
Whilst we wait for Mr. Edwidnas.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Edwidnas is active now.
So, yeah.
Our sincere apologies for the hitches. This is just because we are transmitting from the field and we are having a few challenges, a few hitches with getting them to join us. We sincerely apologize.
Where do I go?
want my picture with my video. With my video, or the option where I can switch from. No.
Mr. Dujemfi.
Yes.
Mr. Dujemfi, we are not getting you. Can we get you, please?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Dujemfi.
I'm just looking for the options where I can switch the video. To the lab maintenance lab.
Mr. Dujemfi would be very happy if we could see your face.
Yeah, that's what we are looking for, my face.
Okay.
Where is that option? Where is that option? Okay. I want to start my camera.
Mr. Dujemfi.
Yes.
Okay, since we can, I think we can start whilst we work on showing your face as well.
Okay. We are almost there.
Okay, that's fine. Would like to use this opportunity to remind you to drop all your questions in the box and not the chat box, please. Drop all your questions in the Q&A box so we can handle them accordingly. Mr. Dujemfi, I can see you now, so we can proceed.
Yeah, I'll go to the PowerPoint.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, the Director of Crop Services, MOFA, Mr. Osakuto, and to ACA for giving us this platform. I think one of the most...
Can you please take off your face mask so we can see you? We are having difficulties hearing you, so great, that should be fine. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you once again, Mr. Osakuto, Director MOFA, for giving me and the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana this platform. And another thanks goes to the Cocoa Research Institute Executive Director of Cocoa Research, Dr. Iwa Okuku, and his deputies, Dr. Francis Paddy and Dr. Ibiate. To begin with, I think one of the most assets in obtaining marketable raw cashew nuts and kernels is research. And to begin with, as you can see from the background, there are a lot of activities going on to ensure the production of marketable raw nuts. You can see from the screen some of the lab technologies busy dissecting cashew leaves, trying to extract DNA, trying to produce plantlets via tissue culture option. We have Mrs. Yaya Dunfair, we have T and Ishmael doing their job over there. In approaching this challenge of ensuring the production of marketable raw cashew nuts and kernels, we would like to give a background to cashew research in Ghana, where we were, how much we progressed, and some of the achievements that we've gained. We'll go back to the slide. and I'll begin my presentation from that end. I should think by now you can the presentation, and I'm going to introduce to you some of the research efforts that have been made in ensuring cashew nuts and kernel production. To begin with, formal cashew research in Ghana around 2002, and the research has been in the form of collaboration between Cocoa Research Institute and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. A countrywide survey was conducted around 2004, and it was observed that yields on farmers' fields were around 2 to 4 kilograms. Average nut weights were around 2 to 6 grams. Kernel out-turn ratios were below 25%.
Mr. Dujemfi.
Yes.
Seeing your screen, it's not being shared. So if you could kindly share the screen.
Okay. Sharing the screen, please come here.
Okay.
The screen sharing option. Yeah. Hello, can you see it?
We can see your screen now, Mr. Dujemfi. Thank you.
Okay.
So you can put it in presentation mode so that it covers the screen.
Okay, say we should put it in presentation mode. So it's a cover presentation mode. So we should put it in presentation mode.
It's been done. Let's continue this way. It's fine.
Presentation mode.
Dear participants, kindly have patience a bit with us. You know, this is a very new area. It's a trying to explore. So we would get everything running very soon.
Okay.
Great. We have it now, Mr. Dujemfi. You may please proceed.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming back again, important facets in obtaining marketable raw nuts and kernels is research. And this morning, we're going to look at some of the efforts that have been made in Ghana in order to ensure the production of marketable raw nuts. This presentation is going to look at the background before the inception of research. What was the situation? What has been done? What are the current gains and the way forward? So, looking at the background,
you know, Andre doesn't have a presentation. He sent it. You have it. Where? He should show it to say he doesn't have it. Let's come back. Shit. This is why I say create a folder put this in. The guy is not to the guy. This is my family. To be professional,
Yeah, sure.
you are not young guys. Also, be talking to be professional.
Mr. GMP, we are following you.
It's everything clear?
Yes,
Can
we
you
can see the background to
please?
cashew research in Ghana.
Okay. And my video too is live?
Yes.
Yes, I can continue. Okay, good. Great. One of the most important facets on the cashew value chain is research. So in order to ensure the production of marketable raw nuts and kernels, research is one of the most important components, one of the most important aspects that is key to ensuring the production of marketable raw nuts. This presentation will look at the background to cashew research in Ghana. It will look at some of the priority research areas that is critical to ensuring the production of marketable raw nuts and kernels. Formal research on cashew in Ghana since 2002 at the inception of the Cashew Development Project. And research was basically taken at Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana in collaboration with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Following a countrywide survey to select elite trees, yields were observed to be between 2 to 4 kilograms a tree, which was woefully low compared to other countries. And average nut sizes were so low, hovering around, and that was not able to attract premium prices. Kernel out-turn ratios were also around 25%, which is the acceptable rate. Following the survey, insect damage on nuts and kernels were around 8%. Leaf blight and fruit rot disease prevalence was highest. It was around 50%. And climate change effect on cashew was also high. There were limited rainfall amounts. There were high temperatures destroying cashew flowers, high seedling mortality. Now, and that is considered to be an excellent grade. When we look at the number of nuts per kilo in the range of 180 to 190, considered very good. But above 230 is considered poor. From the countrywide survey, nut sizes were hovering around very good, between 180 to 190. But in order to ensure farmers realize high profitability from the marketing of their produce, we need to beef up.
And the way it is, he should also keep his video. Should be ready with his video going.
Now, another important aspect when it comes to this music starts out with the closing dance, and at the end of the day, the introduced management has been the use of private capital methods, mainly criminal, and in some instances when it's officially cited or chemical control. We also look at links to the bags, and these bags normally feed on developing nuts and come across malformation of the nuts or information of the nuts, and this process also affects the fertility of these nuts. We also look at nutrition. Fertilizers applied at the rate of 270 grams normally produce cashew, and this is normally formulated in the form of ammonium sulfate and also phosphate and mutate of cashew. In summary, all that we're saying, the utilization of produced cashew varieties together with the recommended factors and production quantities is critical to obtain marketable cashew nut in Kenya. All that we are saying is in order to ensure the production of marketable cashew nut, you need the right variety, you need the right pesticides and biological control methods, and you need the appropriate fertilizers. We're looking at some of the achievements that's currently established about the SIO plant with the current superior cashew crops. We have superior polygonal cashew varieties. We have also developed biological and chemical controls together with fertilizers. We did this with some challenges. And these are
see.
Yes, your presentation is showing the seeds being generated.
Yes, I cannot see. Oh, now I can see. Yes.
Great.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hello, Dr. Professor Sami. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good. Yes, have 5 minutes. Yes, no problem. Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome, Sandy. I'm going to make my general presentation on how general research can contribute in developing marketable cashew nuts and the cashew chemicals. I am not going to be country specific because I would like this information to be cross-cutting between East and Western African countries, which are regarded as cashew producing countries. My slide is not moving. Hello.
Continue.
Hello.
Professor Masawi, we are now on introduction.
Yes, thank you very much. As it can be seen, cashew is a tree of great economic importance. And it is very suitable to combat and it can produce apples and nuts, which have several industrial and sugar used. Cashew research in Africa until the 1990s. Even after 1990s, you'll find that there are some countries have not been supporting research in terms of providing adequate human resources, financial resources, and their infrastructures. In countries where infrastructures are well developed, they are lacking adequate human resources. What I mean by adequate human resources to have research scientists and technicians who have the qualification undertaking research trials. But of recent, many countries are now strengthening their national research programs in Africa, including East Africa and West Africa countries. Next.
Professor Masawi, the next page is showing cashew research.
Yes. Okay. Cashew research normally takes a lot of years to develop varieties or hybrids with a good processing quality. It takes a minimum of 5 to 60 years, where you can select some new materials that can be taken ahead to develop varieties. Or in countries where there are already existing cashew plantations, it will take 2 to 3 years to identify any mother trees which can be incorporated into developing cashew varieties. In addition to that, it will take again where you have 6 years to conduct genotype times environment interaction trials, which must be undertaken in different laboratory settings in order to see the selected material genetically controlled or the environmentally influenced.
Why are they still showing? Sometimes it still shows what's his name?
Professor Masawi, the next slide is showing.
I can see you. Okay, I'll just come.
Oh.
This is a schematic diagram which is showing clearly how we can develop broad varieties that visually acceptable. We start with germplasm collection, which can be local or foreign. Then it will take about 6 years to evaluate the material, which will go into mineralized times environment analysis. And then later to release the varieties of hybrid. These varieties can be used for top growth, but it all can go into the side of
Some which have said, you should take that which you have to do. I think the content doesn't belong to us. It's okay, don't bring this guy in now. This basic for the future, which one? It's connected to internet also. So he has to be sure if you move in, nothing will go wrong.
What is the access that, for instance, when there is
although Bali is very efficient, Africa, most African countries are not adopting that. But grafting has its own limitations in terms of providing adequate planting material. Only take place during flowering and fruiting, because that's the only time when the science will be available. Thereafter, you can have a lot of science during the rain season. But the problem is, if you graft during rain season, the seedlings will be ready after 90 days. 90 days will be at the end of the rainy season, which cannot be planted into the field. When you stay here, so that you can benefit from the rainfall, because most of the cashew trees grown in Africa are rain-fed, you will find that science are not available. So grafting cannot be a reliable source of improved planting material, and that is why now we have gone a little. In all countries are used to establish orchards, but we are making a lot of confusion when we are talking about seeds. Clono seeds are seeds which are harvested from selected mother trees or from which have been planted in row to be a source of science for grafting. A small proportion of the cashew seeds harvested from clonal trees will not because of the genetic segregation. We have about 48% genetic segregation in cashew, which I published in a paper in 1990. And Dr. Mene went far to undertake the DNA fingerprinting and found that the percentage of crossing could go as far as. Then another source is the polygonal seeds. This is where there is a confusion from many countries. Most trees raised by polygonal seeds will perform better than the parental trees, and even more, they will perform some of the trees, because polygonal seeds are planted in a. Can you go next slide? Polygonal seed orchard is planted in such a way that the trees cross-pollinate each other more efficiently.
Next. So what is the polygonal seed? These are seeds harvested from polygonal seed orchards or polygonal seed gardens. Polygonal is established using either registered cashew varieties or selected elite mother trees, which have an out-yielding potential and acceptable nut qualities. Polygonal orchards are planted in a special design called systemic or next neighbor design, and it must be an isolated farm or a special does not allow cross-pollination from trees which are not desirable or they do not have the required qualification to be called improved planting material. In front of you is the layout of a polygonal seed orchard or a polygonal seed orchard. It means all these 10 varieties which are planted here, they are all high yielding with the contrasting characters, which makes them to be a variety. And surely you have to use genetic markers to ensure that what is in the polygonal seed orchards, they are distantly related and are not close to each other. Next, please. So this is how we lay a block of polygonal seed orchard. You will have block 2, you will have block 3, and you will have block 4. The entry materials are 20. Then the 20 varieties will be in one block, but in different proportions. So you will have more type of variety from block 1, and a different number of variety from this one, different number of variety from block 3, and different number of varieties. But in every block, varieties must be represented. And when harvesting this also, they must be
years to go through. Thank you very much. Dr. Abigansi. Now my questions go to Professor Masawe. In your presentation, you alluded to the fact that you will need about 5 to 6 years to establish G/E pros or folds. May I ask, is there any way you can be able to reduce the number of years before you can accomplish this task? The second question, you also said to have an elite material or any tree, the yields must be about 40 kilograms per tree per year. May I ask, due to all your numerous consultancies and visits to different African countries, have you come across a farm that is giving 4 metric tons, assuming that the plant population density or the recommended spacing that they use is 10 meters by 10 meters? These are my 2 issues that I want Professor Masawe to address. Thank you very much.
Coming to question number 1, there is no way you can reduce the years from 5 to 6 and below, because at the earlier stages of the cashew tree development, the yields in year 1, 2, and 3 are very low and sometimes unpredictable. So the only stable yields come from year 4, 5, and 6. If the tree management is good and the farm management is good, you can make selection at year 5, because you will have at least 3 years of data collection, which can help you to do the selection. But if the management and other things are not very good, you might even need 6 years and even more. I remember in Mozambique, we used almost 10 years to be able to collect the appropriate data, because you need to have a consistent data collection in those 3 years so that you can do an analysis to find out if the trees are no. So if you work not with seeds, you are going to work with elite mother trees. Elite mother trees, you identify them from the plantations, existing plantations. You identify a number of outstanding trees. Those trees, you have to undertake DNA fingerprinting to check and see if they are distantly related to one another. If they are distantly related to one another, you can observe them for at least 3 years to get 3 years data to confirm that the yield which is expressed there is genetical and not environmentally influenced. Then you have to take them into a genetic trial, whether you like it or not. It's only the genetic trial that will enable you to release varieties. I think we are misinterpreting the name variety. A variety should be distinct, uniform, and stable. Those are the regulations of the International Union of Protection of Varieties Import. Without those data presented, whatever you release cannot be called a variety and it is of conditions. So in order to reduce, getting an improved material is fine, but releasing variety, there are procedures. Every country has improved planting material, but none of them, except Tanzania, they have variety, including Mozambique. Mozambique, they started a long time ago. They had genetic trials, but they were not releasing funds for data collection. So trees are there, there are no data. So once they get enough money, they can collect the data for 3 years, analyze the data, and release them as varieties because they are already distinct and they are already stable because I planted them myself, but they were not given adequate funds in collecting the data. Concerning the elite materials across the country, is there any country that can have a yield potential of 4 tons per hectare? Mr. Kutu, let me rest assure you. First of all, the spacing of 10 by 10 is only applicable in some countries. In Mozambique and Tanzania, it does not work at all because after 10 years, they will overlap. And then once they overlap, there are no productions. The average trees, the average tree production the farmers have, for example, in Tanzania and Mozambique, has improved almost 1 to 1.5 times because they are using the improved planting materials. At the age between 5 up to 10 years, farms in Tanzania, farms in Kenya, in Mozambique, an average tree can produce more than 30 kilograms per tree at the age between 5 and 10. But once you reach an age of 15, then it becomes another issue. Management of the trees, were they controlled very well? Was the disease controlled properly? That would be the issue. But generally, spacing is the most controversial issue in the cashew industry worldwide. So we can only use the spacing of 10 by 10 where varieties are planted and then areas where the rainfalls are limited. Even in Ghana, around Wenchi, the spacing of 10 by 10, after 15 years, the trees will overlap because of the rainfalls. But in the far north of Ghana, the spacing of 10 by 10 can be even more than much because there's a moisture stress and the growth of the trees are also reduced. So basically, what I'm saying, even in my own farm, I'm rather telling you that a hectare I can produce up to 3 tons per hectare in my own farm. I'm producing. But the trees I planted in the year 2003, now the yield per hectare has come down almost 1 ton per tree because of the spacing of 12 meters by 12 meters. Some of those trees, because I applied fertilizer, they become gigantics, they are big trees, and they are overlapping one another. So the only solution to this problem is by feeding the trees so that the remaining ones can have a canopy which are free. Cashew is a periphery bearing crop. Whenever they overlap, they will never produce.
Very much, Professor Masaru, and then thank you very much, Dr. Giganfi. At this stage, we are going to enter the question and answer session. And to do that with me is Mr. Jerry Eni. Mr. Jerry Eni is also working at the Directorate of Cross Services, Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So he is going to support me to do the questions and answer session. and you have 30 minutes to do that, and according to my watch, you close by 10 to 11. So at this stage, you have a lot of questions that have come out, and you pick them and then try to find answers to the questions. Either Professor Masaru or Dr. Bigamfi, because some of the questions are specific to Ghana. If that one, then I will let Dr. Bigamfi answer those questions. Those that are general ones, then I will invite Professor Masaru to do that. The first question that I have here, probably I would like Professor Masaru to discuss this. What are the barriers to density planting in West Africa? Are there high density planting in Africa? Prof, can you help us with this? Thank you.
Basically, there have been different schools of thought about the high density cultivation. There is nowhere in Africa where there is any data about the high density cultivation. In reality, high density cultivation in Africa is possible if you can go and undertake what you call tree management right from the one when you allow it to grow. You do a regular rapid pruning to ensure that the tree does not grow into the right direction. But in reality, that technology have not been disseminated to farmers. None of the research institutes have ever undertaken that study. Naliendele started the study about 2 years ago. Yes, it showed some good results. But the problem is, we are trying to copy what is in India. High density cultivation in India has been possible because cashews are not planted in fertile lands. They are planted in marginal lands where the spacing of the trees goes 1 meter by 1 meter, 2 meters by 2 meters, and sometimes they use irrigation to supplement with the minerals. And even if they harvest at the space of 1 by 1, 2 by 2, even if they harvest a quarter kilogram, with the planting population, you find that they will end up having almost 2 to 5 tons per hectare. But in Africa, land is abundant. Land is abundant, and also we need the tree as a tree for environmental issues, because we are saying cashew is environmentally friendly because it is very good in carbon sequestration. Another one is coming with the logic saying, okay, now we have to prune our trees so they become very small for high density cultivation. What is the problem? We have quite a big land. So we should not copy what is in another continent. Let us do what is suitable for Africa and not copy technologies which are not applicable in our own continent.
Thank you, Prof. I want to tie in this question what you have just answered. The question is, what is the best density for a polygonal seed garden, or what is the distance between trees in polygonal seeds? Prof, ideas on. Thank you.
Yeah, the density for the polygonal seed orchard depends on the location. For example, if you are going to plant in areas with a very high rainfall, more than 1,000 millimeters to 1,200 millimeters, the spacing must be 12 by 12. If you are planting in areas where rainfall are ranging from 300 to almost 800 milliliters per year, the planting density could go to 10 by 10 or even 8 by 8. So what matters on the spacing is the land type, the soil types, and the rainfall pattern. In very dry areas, you can go even further. Depending if you are planting the rough material, you can go between 7 by 7 and 8 by 8. But if it's the common type of trees, I am telling you, in areas of high rainfall, if you go 7 by 7, after 15 years, they will overlap and you will get very little crop from that. And the polygonal seed is a long-term investment, long-term investment. So it is better if you want to have a higher crop at the earlier stages, you can go for a spacing of 6 by 6. After 6 years, you thin, it becomes 6 by 12. Then after 8 years, you thin again and it becomes 12 by 12.
Very much for the insightful explanation. The next question goes to Dr. Bigamfi, and basically somebody from Ghana, wanting to know which areas in Volta region would cashew do well. And then, do you have accredited nursery in Volta region? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Cashew does well from the southern Volta to the northern Volta, except in the mountainous areas around Afajaku, where height is above 700 meters. Regarding accredited nursery operators, we have the one nursery at Nkwanta in northern Volta, which can be assessed to get improved quarantine materials for the establishment of your farm. Thank you.
Very much. There is a question. Probably somebody wants me to share my experience also. The question is, who is paying for all the research activities in Ghana? Do farmers have adequate storage facilities? Yes, this question I will attempt to answer this one. May I say that cashew research started when African Development Bank and Ghana government funded cashew development projects. And it started in 2002, like Dr. Bijanfi talked about it. That one, we were having funding from African Development Bank and then Ghana government. After the end of the project, you also have been supported by GIZ come Cashew to do some aspects of the research activities. Likewise, you're also having some funding from COCOBOD. Cocoa Research Institute is part of the COCOBOD structure. So they are also having some support from COCOBOD. And lastly, you also have some private people who are also supporting some bits and pieces of the activities that are currently going on the research front. Then the question is, do farmers have adequate storage facilities? I don't know. It's a general question. Either he is talking about cashew storage or other commodity storage. If specific to cashew storage facilities, yes, private sector is handling the marketing aspect of cashew trading in Ghana. And I know most of these private companies have their own warehouses where they trade cashew and store cashew before they export. Thank you very much. The next is, are there research into intercropping in Ghana? Dr. Edmund, can you help us on this?
Yeah, there has been a lot of research
into intercropping in Ghana. Thank you.
Yeah, there has been a lot of research on intercropping in Ghana, which was carried out by Dr. Kukwa Meyao, Dr. Amoa, and others. And we have recommended intercropping with yam, and in some cases cassava, but they rejected the intercropping with cowpea and other legumes and pulses since they harbor a lot of insect pests that also attack cashew nuts. Thank you. And a little addition to the funding of cashew research to Ghana, in Ghana, apart from GIZ, who is funding mainly the CRIC research program, we also had CORAF, also helping us with the assessment of our superior clones being tested on farm cells. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ridenfi, for your contribution. The next set of questions will go to Dr. Ridenfi. One, are there any biopesticides that you will recommend for pest management in cashew in Ghana? And then the next question, are the seeds given to farmers, are they for free? These are all questions coming from Ghana. So Dr. Ridenfi, can you help us addressing these two issues? Biopesticides that you can recommend for pest management. That is cashew pest management. And then the seeds that are given to farmers, are they being given to them free or they are buying them? Thank you.
Good. Regarding the seeds, depending on your land site, normally they are given free to farmers. They are given free to farmers that are operating on a smaller scale. But for large scale production, you need to buy. And that free seedlings given to farmers is from the Planting for Export and Rural Development Program, or an initiative from the government. Good. Regarding biopesticides, what has been recommended is normally Nimazal, or pesticides with neem extract as an active ingredient. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Masaru, can you add, do you also have other pesticides that you can share your experiences with us?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kotu. We have screened a lot of insecticides in Tanzania, and what we have concluded is high-rate oriented products, which are also acceptable in the organic food chain, are the best for the control of the pests. NIM has shown to be effective, but the product is not readily available in the market. So suddenly we have recommended directly oriented products, which are also natural products.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this stage, I will just read out 2 questions because originally the closing session starts at 10:30, and we thought we could go for more than that, but my attention has been drawn to the fact that we need to close formally. So I'll read 2 questions, and then I'll give the chance to the 2 speakers to give us their last words. So the next question, that goes to Professor Masaru. Are there opportunities for private people to invest in the polyclonal gardens based upon your experience? The one that you share with us from Mozambique. Thank you.
I cannot hear you, Mr. Kotu.
Sorry,
I lost your voice.
I'm saying that there's a question here that goes like this. Are there opportunities for private people to invest in the polyclonal gardens as you share your experiences from Mozambique? Thank you. Hello, Prof. Hello. Okay. Are you hearing me? Okay. Okay. So the question, I understand Professor's line is off. So at this stage,
I
will give the chance to Dr. Bigger. Understand Prof is back. Can I repeat the question for him to, so that we can wrap it up? Prof,
yes.
The question here is, are there opportunities for private people to invest in the polyclonal gardens as started by you from your experience in Mozambique?
Surely, to me, the public institutions are not able to produce enough seed to meet the demand of the farmers in each country. So it is high time now we privatize the polyclonal seed orchard, but it has to be supervised by the research institute to ensure that they have the right material, they have the right isolation, they are planted in the required design, and they are giving it the appropriate management. To me, that will be the way forward for Africa, not only through the public institutions, because as you can see, even in Ghana now, they are receiving funds from NGOs, but the government is spending little money for the research. For example, a country like Tanzania, we are spending about $2 million for research. Mozambique has more than $2 million for cashew industry, but very little is allocated to the research. So that's why we have come to a conclusion that we have to privatize the seed production issue for a private fund, for private sector, which must be supervised by research to ensure that the quality is controlled and the polygonal seeds are true polygonal seeds and not seeds from another part. Because once seeds are harvested, you can never differentiate whether they are polygonal or not.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. At this stage, I'll ask kindly for my speakers to give their last words or last statements. I'll start from Dr. Abidjanfi from Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kuku. The marketability of raw cashew nuts and kernels requires a multifaceted approach. You need the right planting material, that is the right variety. You need the right insect control regime. You need the right disease control regime, and you need the appropriate plant nutrition regime. All these are necessary to ensure that marketable raw cashew nuts and kernels are produced. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abidjanfi. Now the turn of Professor Masawi. Can you share with us some last words or some closing statements? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Koto. This has been quite useful in interacting. But I would rather say that most countries are benefiting quite a lot from the cashew industry. It is high time now that the cashew industry invests in research, because we have introduced in many countries export levies. So the export levy, at least 10% should be circulated back into research to be able to conduct the required trials, but also to be able to establish the polygonal seed orchards in every country, because we already have the improved planting material, but we cannot lay down trials and those because of lack of money. So government should invest in research, because cashew remains to be the only crop that can combat global warming, and the most expanding cashew production, but none is being put back into supporting research except in Ivory Coast and Tanzania. Other countries, they provide very little money to research. So my plea is African governments, where cashew is an important crop, they have to make sure that they are also supporting research. Because if you are milking a cow, make sure you feed it well. Thank you.
Very much, Professor Masawi. For the benefit of those in Ghana, yes, the government is setting up an authority that will seek to regulate and also develop. And the development agenda includes research. So very soon, you will hear the Tree Crop Development Authority being operationalized. And I think if it is done, it can support research activities in Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you might have realized that the two speakers have done justice to the topic. And we are very grateful to all of them, and particularly the audience. We are also very, very, very grateful for having spent time from 9 o'clock up to this time. We cherish your listening, and we hope to meet next year for another conference in Ghana. Thank you very much for supporting me also to moderate this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Seth Osei-Akoto, and to your panel also. We say a very big thank you, Dr. Abidjanfi and Professor Masawi, for the insights. Thank you so much. Now we want to inform all of us that there will be some side events which will run through the month of September. On September 16th, there will be a side event on living income and tree crops. On September 18th, it will be on market information systems. On September 23rd, it would be on cashew apple processing. On September 25th, it will be a Cashew Women Call. On September 28th, it would be MTP Alumni Call, and on 30th of September, it would be Farmer Linkage. These sessions actually replace the usual breakout sessions we would have had at physical meetings, and it would provide the platform for participants to be able to break out in rooms to better share knowledge. Also, soon we are inching to the end of the conference, but we would not just end it. We started with addresses, and so we received a speech from Mr. Babatola Faseru, Vice President of the African Cashew Alliance, to give us a closing remark. Mr. Babatola Faseru, if you're there, please.
Great. We have him on now.
Thank you so very much. Indeed, it's a very emotional moment, and I will say also that it's a great honor for me to give this closing address. Honorable Judge Oduro, Honorable Aurora Obore, President of the African Cashew Alliance, Mr. Florentino Nante, our guest of honor, Ms. Atsuko Toda, dear esteemed guests, colleagues, and conference panelists and participants, our friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. All too soon, the first online ACA conference, which is also the 14th edition, comes to an end today. Myself and the other members of the board of directors of the African Cashew Alliance are delighted to be amongst you virtually. We hope you have enjoyed the presentations and conversations that have taken place over the past few days. As one of the conference panelists stated yesterday, we are physically distant, but not socially distant. This is what ACA has been up to. Being a learning hub, coming to you wherever you are with industry learning and facts, is the hallmark of the African Cashew Alliance. We have, over the last several months, continuously provided learning fora for the cashew industry, regardless of the pandemic. ACA will not relent on its commitment to make the African cashew industry competitive and sustainable. After the conference, ladies and gentlemen, we have already planned next segments of learning and information sessions for you. Together, our industry can be made viable and competitive. At this point, we'd like to extend a very special thank you to you, our sponsors, colleagues, distinguished panelists, and participants of the 14th Annual Cashew Conference for logging online each day to join us. Your presence demonstrates your outstanding commitment, first, to promote and advance the cashew value chain. Second, to the team at the African Cashew Alliance, our able managing director, the management and staff, You have proven that although we are in a different and unique situation due to the presence of the pandemic, ACA remains capable and committed to bringing knowledge to all the stakeholders in the cashew industry. The success of this conference also depended on our sponsors and technical partners, such as the Ministry of Food and Agriculture of Ghana, InterSNAP, USDA Lift Cashew Project, USDA Grow Cashew Project, GIZ from Cashew, TechnoServe, Cashew Info, SECO, NOTS2, ITC, Sheet Trade, ACPG, and Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana, media partners, speakers, moderators, facilitators, local organizing committee. We are most grateful to you for all that you did to make this conference a success. We thank everyone present here for joining our global community virtually. We look forward to seeing you next year, September 2021, physically in Accra, Ghana, by the grace of God, for the 15th edition of the conference. I repeat once again, we are physically distant, but not socially. Let us continue to join forces to build a viable value chain to withstand any disruption. Thank you very much, and I say that you please stay safe. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Cashew. We are very grateful for your address. To every beginning, there is surely bound to be an end. And being the one who officially opened the conference, it is in order that he closes it. I present to you once again Honorable George Odro, the Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture in Ghana. Honorable George Odro. Would like also to use this opportunity to thank all our participants for joining for all the 3 days of the conference. We are actually very grateful. Whilst we wait for the Honourable Minister to join, we would also want to remind you of the side events that would be coming off in the month of September. So starting from next week, September 16th, there's a side event. On September 18th, there's another. On September 23rd, there's another side event. September 25th will give us another side event. Now these side events are there to help us delve deeper into the issues that have been discussed for the 14th annual conference.
Sorry, we had a slight technical hitch. Sorry about that.
It's okay, sir. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Industry and Handicraft, Burkina Faso, fellow government ministries and agencies, the President of the African Cashew Alliance, cashew industry players, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to speak once again on behalf of the government of Ghana at the closing ceremony of the 14th Annual Cashew Conference. This is the first edition of the
annual Cashew Conference to be held virtually. And I must say, thank you to the African Cashew Alliance for giving us 3 productive days under the theme Building a Viable Cashew Industry that can withstand disruptions. This conference has helped to bring out areas we need to speedily readjust. In my address at the opening, and I emphasized, we need to consciously effort of all stakeholders, private, public, and development corporations to attain the design theme for the conference. This statement was reiterated through each panel. During the sector organization panel, a recommendation for the Consultative International Cashew Council to engage Asia towards joint collaboration and policy harmonizing is commendable. We were also made aware that there is the need for more government support towards the operationalization of the Consultative International Cashew Council. The private sector actors also expressed strongly the need for public-private dialogue, a dialogue that needs to include Asian actors given the long and complex nature of the cashew value chain. In the area of processing, the panels drew our attention to the following. The first, we have had periods where almost all factories shut down, with most of them appearing susceptible to the last disruption due to the choice of the wrong processing technology and inadequate financing. And the second one is, in this respect, the need to address mechanization in Africa has become very crucial. How can Africa adapt mechanization technologies to the local environment? We have heard and seen that viable mechanized processing is possible here in Africa. Third, mechanization requires equipment with up-to-date technology, and there is the need to maintain this equipment. Maintenance does not always mean to repair. It, however, means keeping your equipment functioning as it was built to do. We do not only need to be concerned about equipment when they break down. You should focus on maintaining, not repairing. This one done, there will be the less repairing to do as the maintenance minimizes breakdowns in the first place. And lastly, undoubtedly, there is the need for more efforts to promote food safety standards to achieve every requirement needed for a world standard processing in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we need goodness to process. To achieve goodness, we need to support our producers to propagate improved varieties, which offer high yields and quality nuts. As we have seen today, research is advancing in Africa on selection and multiplication of elite mother trees and planting materials to ensure the production of raw nuts that provide higher productivity and income for our farmers, as well as high returns to processors. We must, as a result, see more collaboration among the cashew producing countries and to share the research gains, while at the same time we support private nurseries to be established or expanded to add to government efforts. Following the end of this conference, I believe partnership will be established. The support shown to this conference is enough reason to believe so. The government of Ghana is already committed to building a viable cashew industry, Being a signatory to the Consultative International Cashew Council, the passing of the Tree Crop Development Authority Act 2019, Act 1010, into law to establish an institution for the regulation and development of cashew and 5 other tree crops, the launching of the Planting for Export and Rural Development PED program, among many other initiatives, show the commitment of the government of Ghana to develop the sector. Finally, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to again thank the African Cashew Alliance for a well-organized conference with relevant content needed to reshape the industry in Africa and globally. The opportunity to provide to the stakeholders of the cashew industry is enormous and commendable. To all the sponsors, partners, and members of the African Cashew Alliance, thank you for the support. It is our hope to host you all physically in Accra, Ghana, for the 15th edition of this conference, when we shall convene to discuss the progress we have made towards building a viable cashew value chain starting from today. Thank you for your kind attention and stay safe.
Thank you, Honorable Judge Ojoro and Mr. Babatola Kashewu. Thank you so much. We would also like to express our gratitude to all our sponsors and partners. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana, Intersnack, GIZ Cashew, TechnoServe, Benin Cashew, USDA Let Cashew, USDA Pro Cashew, SECO, NATSU, ITC Trade, Cashew Info, ACPG, CNFA, the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana, and all our media partners in Africa and beyond. We would also like to say a very big thank you to BNFT, GBC Ghanaian Times Daily Guide, and the many other media houses represented. We would also want to remind you particularly of the side event, the next side event, which is on the 16th of September 2020 at 9 o'clock GMT, 12 noon EAT, 2:30 p.m. India time, and 5 a.m. EST. The topic for this side event is living income and tree crops. The topic is Cashew. How cashew and cocoa trees help provide sufficient income for farmers and families. And also we'll be looking at how modern supply chains work. This will be the next side event that we will be having. All presentations for the conference are available on the ACA website and also on the ACA app, which is available on Google Play Store as ACA Cashew app. Please note that the platform will be open for the next 30 minutes. It will be left open for the next 30 minutes for networking. Please make use of it. My name is Linda. Thank you once again, and we'll see you all things being equal next year in Accra. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Well done. Now I can breathe.
Today wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. Today wasn't easy. To really try to break into technology. Somebody said, to do this in Africa, you guys are brave.
Especially being the first time.
Exactly. To do this in Africa. Oh my gosh. So we'll rejoin very soon.
Okay, sir.
And then I'll pick your feedbacks.
Okay, sir.
Because there's tomorrow to come.
Okay.
Someone said Zoom, the people who own Zoom, they brought coronavirus.
I'm telling you, this is their season.
This is their season.
It's like a harvest season for them.
Whether you like it or not, you have to.
Yeah, it's true. There are other softwares are available, but I think Zoom is being used.
Yeah, flexibility.
Yeah.
And they have plenty Cisco,
yeah,
WebEx, GoToWebinar. I'm surprised no one is talking about Skype. You know,
Skype is using it.
Yeah, because it used to be the main thing.
Skype is using it. And its challenges are many. Yes, Zoom is actually very flexible, easy to manipulate. It's user friendly, so we are stuck on Zoom.
Technical one.
The way this guy has been worked. I'm sure if you were pregnant, you would have lost it right now.
I'm telling you. You could see the frustration with Ernest.
I know. I mean, it all comes back to him. Whether it goes well or it doesn't go well. Okay, do you know where the under bridge is? Okay, so when you'll be coming from Smith's, right? Good, so when you get to the under bridge, like after you've used the under bridge, you take a right turn. Yes, go straight till you hit the end of the road, then you take a left. When you take that left turn, but I'll move to the right.
Let me end the YouTube class. I think I should have loaded this laptop here with the internet.
I believe before my sinner.
Yesterday it was on. The last day, and I mean, yes, it was a tough one. Attempting to reach out to the world from not just different locations but different environments, different backgrounds, different places, research laboratory that field. And yes, it was a feat. And we thank you all for your part of the so it's more also to keep your feedback because it doesn't stop today. There's the outside event the way we see it, the world has changed, whether we like it or not. I mean, it's a new norm, and we have to adjust quickly, and also adapt themselves. So we need to always get feedback. I think working a lot, maybe we can start sharing your resources.
Very well, it was well implemented. I can't think of anything that all the issues we had to do with which exists almost everywhere in the world. So, yeah, so unless of course we can do something different, I think we will.
What will change for the future? We will do it again.
Maybe we should take it out and come back. I don't think we'll be able to.
So we'll take them. They are also their feedback. So he will start and then we'll see your ears and we'll see that.
That's when we internet connectivity, so that's the main challenge. And for the Ghanaian actors, I suggest when we have a trial, those people who take the floor, who do presentation today, we have a trial with them. We inform them with the trial. So at least for them to get some completely kind of lesson.
The trial, you've done several. But I think we should, what is, I wanted to know what went wrong because of that. The DJ was nervous or something.
Yeah, I think the exposure to this advert.
It's something new.
Because it's new to everybody, it's taking a while for, especially the older generation to be really.
Yeah, exactly. So we get some things.
I don't know if it would be easier to have someone like them, someone who's more tech savvy. So when some of these things happen, then they would realize and then the tech savvy people would work on it because having to do presentation also trying to figure out what to do with the technology is not that easy. So if let's say like the way Mr. Koto had Jerry and him, I'm sure if something went wrong, Jerry will come and then solve it. So maybe if we have someone to die immediately and then the others.
Yeah, the whole team.
So they should have had that situation.
But anyway, this particular people really thanks to them. The team that was supporting them. Anyway, okay. So please go ahead. Sorry for that. Yes.
like it so much that we are with you, and we can run this for politics in that way, and we love that. And she was also constantly running. There's a job what's happening in the that way. And she was working, it's like an engine working, and then it's at the AC in the room. When it switch on and then
okay. So things like this, just inform us subsequently, because you'll be coming back on the encounter. Yes.
At the point, you'll say, you please switch and something like that. Because of now, you really want to talk, so you will start.
Yeah, that's
so other than that, it's very good. Because internet connectivity, you are still on top. It's not easy to have it because immediately.
Yeah.
The speed of second you are back. What's the wonderful?
But for you, for your environment, you sat here for all this, and then I thought, how is that? Is that a new environment, or maybe next time you should ask me?
I prefer it this way. Because there were moments when I was talking and I still had to get information from them. And, for me, this is like the perfect environment. It's good for effective feedback.
I think also want to add that I like how you manage the situation, because especially for today, we needed someone to communicate for them and let them know that we're having these issues and that, and I think it was managed well.
And I mean, for the internet issue, it's not an African thing or a Ghanaian thing.
Yeah.
We were in a conference with some panelists from the UK, and even in the UK, they had saying kept stopping it. Because it looks like internet has been bombarded in our day and time, so everybody's on it.
Also the Indian, the last time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and they are even the tech hub to say it. So like you said, they did amazing. The fact that as soon as it drops, it's back up. Something is going on, so it's fun.
I also like the fact that you read at some point.
Yes.
So I think maybe that's something you should be trying very often.
You have to fix something.
But maybe the regular feature.
I will just have 5 minutes.
But maybe the regular feature.
No problem.
To switch sometimes, because then the heavy burden of one person speaking for long, you can feel the tiredness, and so for me I was happy when that happened, and maybe that's thing for the future is good to switch at a certain point, so that you balance the volume of energy being by each other. Okay, so I think any other we will wait for Blessing when she comes to do our own internal feedback. But we are very grateful to have you, and whatever happens, I mean, you have been part of this, and it's groundbreaking. And what may happen then is that there will be, even in our many more forums, so we'll see how it gets better with time, and then together we all go in this new field. And for us, we are happy with the work you have all done, and we know that the finance people will finish the last leg of the discussions with you and take it from there. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, good.
Thanks for sending the documents.
It's
really tough. That is the whole success. The documents that she sent.
Yeah.
It was a very you can read through stamina.
Yesterday was tough.
Very tough.
Before he thought of the word, there's another word coming.
It's not
very good.
Yeah,
okay, very good. Is the thing moving? The sponsorship is moving?
Yes. It's paused.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Facebook. Come and join. So were you able to show I sent you? Or you didn't show it?
That one, no, that one I said 20. I couldn't show that one. I showed 2012. I think it's year 2013. It's nice, but I was trying to put my. You have to use your rotate 360 video.
Ah, yeah, you showed that one.
Because it's this, you have to do like this. A phone, I was doing my phone by a laptop. I was trying. It's not. It's full of that picture.
Oh, so you didn't show it? Oh. Well, that's a 360 video. Yes, sir.
In the service. Hey, on this thing.
Is it a Burkina Faso one or there are two?
There are two. Burkina Faso one is Dutch, so necessarily we can't play that.
But you said you can play the second one.
Yeah, they said the thing is not played. Yeah, the second one by 360.
Oh, that would be nice.
No, but it's not going unless you play it on the phone and share the screen. Everything. You can tell your phone when they start so let's
trainings received from extension officers from the Ministry of Agriculture.
So if you like that,
I know you should, because it's on YouTube as a video.
Yeah. It's on YouTube as a video. All that picture. That's a picture so you can.
Yeah.
So if you look at this, you see that's what they're telling you to do. You see, look. If you do it on your phone, you will push it so that people will be seeing the other side. Everything. If you are real like this, you see the person. That's another thing better than knowledge. You will not see. So you have to do like this. This video was this do by the drama.
Yeah, you need to find it.
Because this thing.
So let's see it.
I don't know, like I don't see that. Do that kind of. I think that so this thing we can do it.
Now this is on your laptop. How is it?
I know I'm trying to find my laptop because I don't know.
No, it's a YouTube link.
I'm not playing for where the YouTube app and YouTube. I can't tell you. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. Ya bersama
Yes.
Yes.